talking with a lot of you as I've been here, and I've met some of you on social media, and it's been a real honor to be here. And I want to say thank you so much to Manny for putting on this event. Thank you so much to each of you beautiful souls for deciding to raise your hand and be here to serve your way to success or serve your way to leadership. I've been back in the U.S. now just for about 3.5 months as I left corporate in January this year from New Zealand. And I'll get into that a little bit, but I first want to say something that's really, really, really inspires me. And the thing that I want to share is I have this really deep humanitarian side to me. I really, really care about the 100 million displaced people that are around the world, refugees, that no longer can belong to their country because of a civil war. And they can't go to any other country because of laws. So we already are living with a global citizen nation that is here on this earth today. And I get really inspired by that. And the other thing I get really inspired by that's really moved me lately is there's 5 countries that spend $1 trillion on military defense. And that's moved me so deeply these past 12 months. And the thing that I want to share as well is I was in a corporation for a $23 billion company and a $400 million company. Now, I'll get to that story. But the other thing I realized is there's this big entrepreneurial side of me, this big business side to me. And the thing that I love about that is that I really love money. And I'm going to say it because I love my relationship with money. And the thing that I want to tell you about this is that, when Manny and I first started talking, he was like, telling me about serve your way to success. And I was like, what does this really mean? And he was like going deeper into this. And just recently, I'm getting my master's in global technology and development as well as my business. And I was able to get a $50,000 grant for refugees. Now the reason I want to tell you this is it wasn't just $50,000. It was the opportunity for them to get a phone. And from that phone, women are able to use that. And they're able to look at how they use their phone. You can track data and how likely they are to repay a loan. So they can apply to a microcredit to get financing to own a business. And that inspires me. That moves me so, so deeply. And as I've been back in the States now for just a short amount of time, I look at this and I'm like, oh my God, all the problems and all the things. And I really consider myself a woman from the world. I've been to 35 countries at the age of 25. And this year alone, when I started my business, I've been to 11 countries in 28 cities. Now the thing that I want to back up and share with you is my life has been a lot of success that I've created for different service reasons and a lot of injustices that occurred. But see, I believe we all equally have had an injustice happen in our life that we care so deeply about. And so what I want to do is I want to take you on a story or a journey of my life because I want to show what's available. I want to show what's possible no matter where you are. Because see, I believe in living a beyond impossible life. And I love breaking rules to make impossible results. I love it. I thrive on it. It's like the conscious rebel in me. And is anyone else in here kind of like a conscious rebel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So I really, really love that. And I'm going to start with my journey. So, I was born in Michigan, Detroit. Love it. Really great. And, from a very young age, I was very normal, had 2 parents that were lawyers, very in the system. Sorry if there's any lawyers in here. But very like other things, and I was always really good at school, like straight A's, 4.0, but was like this kind of jock at the same time, like kind of tailoring between. And at the age of 14, I was going up for a layup, and all of a sudden I fell, hyperventilating, I couldn't breathe. Taken to the ER, I had a huge lump on my throat. It said, you're gonna have to get surgery. You have thyroid cancer. And so what happened at that point, I didn't know what that meant. They just told me that I was gonna be on medication for the rest of my life. It was going to be really hard for me to have kids when I wanted to have kids. I had no idea what that meant at 14 years old. All I knew was that I was going to be ugly, because I had a scar on my neck, and boys were going to make fun of me. That was my big thing. And I was obsessing over it like a crazy person. Has anyone ever done that? Obsessed over something that's really irrelevant?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I was doing that. What happened in that place is I had to get another surgery. It was a lymph node that was wrapped around my jugular. It was going to be a very, very hard surgery for me to live through. But I did it. I made it out alive. And the thing that I want to share besides that is I've been off the medication for 2 years now with no impact because of lifestyle changes I'm going to tell you about. And I don't believe believe that you should ever be on medication because of a doctor telling you something to be alive.
Yeah.
And the thing that I want to tell you is there's a moment in time, it wasn't the cancer that impacted me. There was a moment when I was sitting in the hospital playing with those little play cubes, you know, that we have. And I was playing with another girl. What happened is her dad yelled at her mom. And what happened is the dad said, the only reason we're in this position to not pay for our daughter's treatment because you're a stay-at-home mom. Now let me tell you what I didn't know at 15 years old. But I didn't know at that time that imprinted in my mind two things. That I needed money to have love, I needed money to not die. So I became in this very, very crazy masculine relationship with money. Where I was going to do all of the things to make sure I had money to have love and money to make sure I didn't die. And so what I did is I graduated, I went to college, to Michigan State, and I got a marketing degree. I was doing all of the things under the sun that you could do. Internships since the age of 17, was making a couple $1,000s a month, which seemed like a lot at the time. And I was doing all of the things. And I remember I was like, okay, well I want to make an impact, and this doesn't really seem like this is making an impact. So what can I do today? So I remember at Michigan State, I was a sophomore, I was at the community service chair in the largest business organization, and I was like, okay, what can I do? And, what can I do? And I remember I started this idea to sell ribbons for $1 to raise cancer awareness and all the other cancers, because there's like not just breast cancer, there's thyroid and all these things. I wanted other cancers to feel like they had a voice to be heard. So I ended up raising $25,000 in one semester. But that $25,000 didn't go to research, because I don't believe we really want to solve the cure because of the pharmaceutical industry. I went and gave out $25,000 to help people pay for their treatment. That was the first time I realized what service really meant. Yeah. There was service that you can release, and there was service that you can create new structures and new paradigms that show people what's possible.
Yeah, Colleen.
And so what I did from that small age is I still was in this very masculine, like, let's do. But it's got to be like, I want to be this feminist, and I want to do this thing for all the women, and show, and yes, let's do it. Whew. Well, let me tell you how that worked out for me. So I graduated college and, got all these job offers, like the great kid I was. And, what happened from that age is I started to be a sales engineer for a $23 billion company. But see, my dream was to always travel, and I'd already been to like 20-something countries at this time, but I wanted to get out of Michigan. So I was able to go to Arizona, Texas, and Maryland. Move there all by myself, do all the things, and figure it out. What I'm telling you is that even though I wasn't an engineer, I was a marketing major, again in a male-dominated field, that grew my sales territory 0 to $1 million in 8 months, and $5 million to $8 million in 8 months. And I was sitting there, and I was hustling, and I was going, I was like, let me get the money, let me get all the things, to finally prove that I'm worth it, to finally prove that this can never happen again. But I still didn't realize this. I still didn't realize the subconscious imprint that was in my mind of what occurred to me at a very young age. And the thing that I really want to share with you about this experience is that not only was I doing all these things with this job, I was hustling, I was fighting for feminists, I was doing all these things with men I really didn't love, men that really were never going to see. And it's not really a thing with men and women. It was just a masculine template that exists in society that's not even really men's fault. But I didn't realize it then. And I was doing all the things. But the thing that also happened while I was doing all these things, I was really, really in love, madly in love with this guy. And see, there was a moment when I was in New Orleans with a few of us friends and we were celebrating New Year's Eve. And what happened is his friend came up to me and was grabbing my hair and saying that, I would hook up with you better, you're the ugliest girl this guy has dated, all of these things. Well, what I want to share with you in that moment is that I remember thinking to myself, but I'm making more money, this should work. I'm making millions, this would work. Why isn't this working? And I kept going back, and I kept going back, and I kept going back because I had this belief that if I was making money, that love would work. And the thing that I want to share with you is I remember I was leaving the largest deal that I ever did. It was $800,000 at 22 years old. And I was leaving from this place, and I called this guy to tell him how excited I was. He said all of these awful things to me. I remember I was bawling. I was like, why is this happening? Why is this happening to me? I'm supposed to be standing for feminists. I'm supposed to be feminine. I'm supposed to be standing for this. I'm supposed to be believing in women. And I was like, why is this happening? I remember I came home, and I crashed on my couch, what am I to do? I'm making all the money. I'm doing all the things I'm supposed to. I was flying on the private corporate jet. What am I supposed to do at 22 years old? And I remember there was a feminine intuition. There was a moment in my life that told me to get my laptop and Google visas. Because see, I thought that to live internationally, which was my big dream at the time, besides all the traveling I did, that you needed a corporation to do it, or you needed to have higher education. Because America doesn't make it seem like it's very easy to get a visa. And so see, what I did is there was a visa that popped up, New Zealand visa, $20 for a 1-year visa. I applied for it, got it in 24 hours. I was like, all right, I am going for it. I'm going for it, I'm going for it, I'm going for it. And what I did is I saved for 3 months, hyperventilating every single day, filled with anxiety. I remember I was like, you know what? I'm committing to this. This is my dream. I'm supposed to do this. This is just supposed to happen. Have you guys ever had a dream like that seems totally crazy, but you still do it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyway, I was doing it. I gave away 28 trash bags of clothes to homeless people. All of my clothes, all of my belongings, gave it all away. And off I go to New Zealand. I show up with my 4 suitcases in New Zealand. Here we go, ready to do this thing. And totally crazy, right? Like, you all have had this happen to you? And I go there, and I got an Airbnb for a month, and the masculine part of me to make this happen was like, I'm going to go to a recruiting firm to get another job. So, within 4 weeks, I manifested a job with a $400 million company. Well, what do you know? Again, I was 1 woman out of 30 covering Asia Pacific. So, here I go, back to my thing. We got to hustle, we got to try really, really hard in order to make a social impact and steer my way to success. Got to try really, really hard. And I remember I was doing that. And again, 3 months in to this job, I was promoted to APAC Marketing Manager, covering Korea, Taiwan, Japan, Australia, New Zealand. And I went, wow, powerful manifester, clearly. Notice the intention, notice the shift. What are you really doing? Are you really being of service from the way of what you saw? I did 300 hours of yoga and meditation when I realized that false imprint that happened to me. And I realized all of the suffering I put myself through just to try to serve my way to success. And I got a lot of massive results, tons of results with money, and traveling, and friends, and going out. But it was so empty. So empty to the point that I was so drained that I'm sitting there like, what am I to do? What am I to do? This is not making the difference. I did not make it through cancer to be here. And I remember there's 2 of my friends who told me, Colleen, you're gonna make it over, you made it over cancer before us, or over us for a reason. And I was sitting there in my meditation, remembering these moments, remembering these stories, these false things that I was trying to do. And see, what I did from that point is I started to say, well, what if I could become an entrepreneur? What if I could break all the rules and start an online business while I travel the world? What if I could do that? People were like, no, you can't do that. That's crazy. There's no way. It's impossible. Like, okay. So remember I'm Googling entrepreneur retreats as I'm over in New Zealand, and there was an entrepreneur retreat with all New Zealanders. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, or message them. I'm American, is it okay if I go to your entrepreneur retreat? Have you ever done something again totally crazy that doesn't really make sense? Yeah. No answer. Well, I booked it and I showed up at the entrepreneur retreat. And I was like, hey everyone, and everyone's like, who is this American? Why is she here? What is she doing? Like, what's going on? We've never heard of her. So I remember I'm sitting there, and in that moment at that time, that was November of 2017, I was sitting there remembering to myself, like, how can I make more love in the world? Because I'm realizing what I'm so desperately craving is love. And I'm realizing all these people that I'm talking to and all of these masculine templates that are living in this corporate America, and a lot of these homeless people, a lot of people living in poverty, they really want love. And a lot of people that have been there as they've passed away from cancer, as I've done a lot of fundraising and a lot of service for that, they all desire to have more love. So remember, so for the entrepreneur retreat, hi everyone, my name is Colleen, and there's multimillionaires there, and I'm like, whew, never been around these people, I'm really nervous, what's gonna happen? And I remember they're all so supportive, they're all being so nice, they're like, oh my gosh, you're so great that you came here in American. That's so great that you want to have love in the world. And I was like, whoa, people with money are nice. Like, woo! limiting beliefs about love. So you guys ever had that limiting beliefs about what you really desire to create in the world? Yeah. So I go over to the sunset, because I'm really in my head. I take a picture. Well, how the lens captured the sun, there's a heart behind the sun, and I still have that picture today. And I remember when I got that sign from the universe, I was like, that is it. Again, I'm going all in. I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to travel the world while I start my business. Well, what happened from that point is I left my job with $5,000 in my bank account. It was January 15th of 2018. What I want to tell you from that point is, as I said, I've been to 11 countries, I've been to 28 cities, I have 4 more to go before the end of the year, and I just crossed 6 figures in my business online completely. And the thing that why it took me so long is because I was masculinely using energy. I was doing all the things. Right when I left in January, I was barely making $2,000 a month until April. Now I had some help along the way where I would stay at friends' houses that I knew, or I wouldn't eat the nicest things while I was still traveling the world. But it was my dream to travel the world while starting the business. I knew I was in a startup phase, so I was so committed to the vision of love to come through me that I kept committing to it. And what I want to share with you is that in April, when it wasn't working, I came across a mentor. And I invested $50,000 that I did not have within 2 weeks. Now, what I want to share from you is that time in April, is I've now invested a total of $85,000 in my personal development, not including my higher education as well. What I want to tell you, as soon as I crossed 6 figures, the biggest thing that I learned was I was so in the masculine this whole time. Trying. And as soon as I invested that amount of money, and I realized that money was frequency, money was energy, money was the thing that I was so badly addicted to victim patterns with, that released everything and it shifted for me. And see, right after I hit 6 figures, within 7 days I got another $38,000. And I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Like, now I'm feeling good. Now I'm in flow. Now I'm like in love, and I get that I had to fall in love with myself, and I had to fall in love with the healing of myself before I could fall in love with the world.
Yeah.
And see, what I want to share with you from this big humanitarian piece that is in me, that I've been all over the world, there's times I was really nervous, didn't know how it was going to work. I remember to keep aligning to love myself. I kept aligning to dissolve the victim patterns that I created to money. That money was bad, and money wasn't going to help me, and money couldn't empower me. I dissolved that in so many ways. And see, what I want to share with you is 3 things that I really learned from Serve Your Way to Success, from all the way from 14 to now, with all the different social injustices that I've touched and talked with, and all the people that I've empowered. Now, the first thing I want to share with you, as I said, is really to serve your way to success, you must invest in healing yourself, whatever layer that may look like for you. I've had clients away from 16 up to 80 years old. A recent 16-year-old client that I was working with, she's in Iraq, and we got her to move to Iran for some things going on, and she's looking to get her higher education. We finally got her visa through the United Nations to be able to go to Australia so she could get a higher education. And see, we had to work on a lot of healing of herself to get her to have a LinkedIn and feel seen that her writing could be heard, so she couldn't even feel comfortable to reach out to the LinkedIn, to the UN. And see, what I really, really believe in everything that I've done is that investing in healing yourself and investing in getting around those mentors, that is absolutely what's transformed my life the quickest. And that is absolutely what has allowed the abundance to show up in my life. And that is why it will be no surprise to me when there's millions that show up. There's no surprise to me of the 20,000 followers that showed up. There's no surprise to me of the people that have randomly seen me when I'm talking or walking down the street going, I have to work with you. And the money just showed up. It was no surprise to me because I healed myself. It was no surprise to you or to me when this happens. When you really commit to that vision, something that's so far greater than you, I promise you that will always pull you forward. And that's always what has pulled me forward in my darkest moments. That's what's pulled me forward in my greatest moments. The second thing that I want to share with you is really in order to serve your way to success, really in order to impact this world, is what I've learned is you must femininely listen to your dreams. That feminine intuition, that gut feeling that when you know you have to do something, you just do it. You just follow it. That's the first part of serving your way to success, of whatever that may look like. The second part of after the feminine intuition is that you masculinely go all in. You do whatever it takes to make it happen. You do whatever it takes to make sure that you serve your way to success, because humanity is waiting for you, whatever that may look like for you. that presence. The reason that I've been able to create wherever I am, be my own economy, be my own living, create abundance for myself and others, is because I've decided to be present in every moment in conversation with people that I've had. Now, something I want to share with you with this, I was at a mastermind recently, and I was talking with a friend, and he's like $10 million business owner. And from that place, we were like talking, and he's like, Colleen, I love what you're talking about. I love what you're doing. Like, can I talk with you? I was like, oh, he wants to talk with me? Like, okay. So I was like, of course, because my vision of love is so clear. So what happens, we did some work together. And in 2 days, when he started to femininely listen to his intuition, he hit his first $1 million month ever. The other thing I want to tell you is presence. I was actually in the airport, and I was just talking with someone about my travels or what I was doing, and he was like, Colleen, I really want to work with you. Okay, let's play together. Let's do this. And he does something with glasses and how you see light in the world with music festivals. We worked together for a month, and after that, his glasses got a contract with the largest music festival in Amsterdam. Now, the thing that I want to tell you is I've practiced all these things, or I've done all these things and gotten a lot of amazing results from people. I've had people tell me they haven't committed suicide. I've had people tell me that their anxiety stopped. I've donated every month, no matter what that looked like for me at a small part, to a charity, whatever that looked like for me in that month. It didn't matter even though I was just starting and I was in the startup phase. I was so committed to that love to show up. And as I grow my relationship with money, as I fall more and more in love with myself, so I can fall more in love with money to make this larger impact like I did with the refugee camp, not have to rely on the United Nations or the World Bank to get their funding, I'm going to keep doing this at larger and larger scales. Now, the thing that I really want to share with you even more than this, is as I'm doing this and have every intention to get my PhD, and this isn't about who's smarter or who's anything, it's just that that's my gifts in life, because I'm naturally good at that. So as a light avatar, it's my duty to go into this field and fight the forces that aren't fighting it. And see, it's my passion to do that. I love it, but that's my gift that I've committed to. My gift that I've committed to humanity. The thing that I want to share with you is besides this, is I've started a university called Global Citizen University. It's a 100% online university, where I stand for 4 pillars. And it's really the revolutionary vision of love, the largest peaceful army of love, where it's coming together with change agents who are so deeply devoted to freedom, whatever that looks like for you, if it's starting a business and traveling the world, if it's starting to travel the world with your business, whatever that looks like for you, getting clear on what that freedom is, because I've broken every rule in the book. And I've still made it possible. I've launched every type of course, I've done it every type of way, and I've made money from $0 all the way to $10,000 through my various 8 courses that I launched in 12 months. And the thing that I want to tell you, it's not about a strategy. It's about following your dreams that let the strategy come through you. And in this university is what I go for. The second thing that I'm really passionate about is influencing policy, because I don't really see countries, I see one world. The thing that I want to tell you about this is people think it's economic or political policies that are going to change it. No, it's the social injustices that you start to stand for that influence the economic and political behavior of people. And see, what I really believe is that we each have an equally traumatic experience that has happened to us. We each have a cancer. Just because mine was labeled cancer doesn't mean you didn't have that same experience in your life. And the other thing that I really stand for in this university is creating a purposeful contribution. Something that you so deeply care about and moves you. Because all of this moved me. This inspired me. I chose to stop getting angry and I chose to start having love. With everything that's occurred in my life, I chose to love again. I chose to love again. I chose to love again. And the other thing that I really want to share with you that I stand for in this is citizenship. We are already global citizens. If you use Facebook, Instagram, Google, Gmail, you are a global citizen, whether you are aware consciously or unconsciously of it. There's data that's being used in third world and developing nations by what we do to influence how those countries are being set up. This university stands for you understanding how to move to consciousness, how to do that in a way that feels really good with money so you live an abundant lifestyle while making the most purposeful contribution with whatever social injustice that is to you. What I really want to share with you is that I really believe we can create the largest peaceful army of love, where we come together, where it's more than $1 trillion collectively combined being spent on love instead of on military. And it'll be far greater than just 5 countries that'll do that. And the reason that I really love and wanted to come on the stage with Manny as he said this, is because you are all here to serve your way to success. And each of those ways are going to look very, very different for us. But it's important that we do it. And it's important that you're here, you've already raised your hand and commit to that opportunity. So whatever that is for you, I invite you to take action on it. I invite you to look deeper into that. I invite you to connect that deeper into that more. Because even in every moment, it's been really hard for me. I still connected to something greater, which pulled me forward in whatever vision that was. And even though I'm 25, it's going to keep getting greater. Age does not matter. I love creating impossible results. I love breaking rules. I love being a conscious rebel. I love making money. And I love making money from a humanitarian aspect that can actually make a difference for people who don't have that opportunity in this world yet.
Yeah.
And the thing that I want to share with you is I actually did a short 30-minute audio that it's a little meditation, but it goes a little bit deep into some of these strategies or some of these key heartfelt, soul-felt things I've done. It's not a secret funnel, it's not a secret copyright. So if that is something that you would enjoy, Manny has a number that you can text, I believe. But definitely do that, as I would love to serve you in that way at an even greater level. The other thing that I'd like to tell you is, as Global Citizen University, this message of love, this is the future. And the future is now.
Yeah.